Representing the 17 to 22 foot class in the flats boat category, the Blue Wave 2200 STL has an overall length of 22 feet 2 inches, a beam of 8 feet, and a max horsepower rating of 200. Designed to navigate across the shallowest flats, she has a draft of 7 to 8 inches, a dry weight of 1,550 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 50 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles.
This is the Blue Wave 2200 STL. If you're into skinny water fishing and you want to chase your prey up into super shallow water, this boat is absolutely mission specific for just that.
Well, you and I both know you can't be all things to all people,
Right.
okay? Blue Wave didn't want to be that with this boat. They wanted you to be able to see your quarry, they wanted you to be able to get shallow, and they wanted you to not leave a big footprint. By that I mean there's not a big pressure weight goes out ahead of this boat, partly because of the tunnel, and partly because of the way they designed it to float so skinny.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the tunnel. When you've got a boat that can jump up on a plane quick in shallow water, that's what this hull was designed to do. It's got a tunnel, it's got a key slot transom. We're gonna make our way back there in a little while and I'll explain it and it'll make a lot of sense. For right now, let's start here at the bow. Let's look at the way they've got their interior laid out. We're gonna see why this boat is set up for mission-specific shallow water fishing. We talked about the stern of this hull being a little different. Well, so is the bow. You got a really sharp entry and you got a lot of flare. What that does, it gives you a good ride, especially in the chop, but it's got enough flare to knock that spray down to keep you dry.
It does, and I wish manufacturers would quit getting fancy up here. I really like what they've done. Step, recessed casting platform, rod box, fish box, insulated, done. That's the best use of space for the bow of the boat.
Well, it is, plus there's enough room where if you and I want to fish up here together, we can.
You're right. Very well laid out. Everything's the right size. Now let's go back and check out that riser because I love it. Well, we're moving on up to the east side. Man, do I like this.
Well, George, yeah, you know what? This should seem like old homeschool week for you because you're used to a big boat with a fly bridge or a marlin tower because it's so much better to be able to look down into the water, and that's really what this riser is all about. It lets you look down into the water. It gives you a high position to command the boat from, keeps you from running aground, but it just lets you see what's underneath the water.
Just look at the difference from when we were standing on the deck a minute ago.
Makes a huge
There's
difference.
a huge amount of difference, and boy, does that help you when there's a school of redfish ahead of you. I mean, that's why you see so many boats now going to second stations. But the problem with second stations is it takes you out of the action. With this, you're one step away all the time. You want to go throw a cast? Fine, step, go throw it. I mean, it's just so much nicer than being either deck level or being separated into a second station. You know what this is? This is a 22-foot boat with the storage of a 30-footer. Anything you can store in a 30-foot center console, you can find a place for under the riser in this boat.
Well, as we move aft, we're going to look at the rear casting deck, and then we're going to talk about the key slot transom we had talked about earlier.
Let me tell you, this back deck, designed for the fisherman. Another elevated platform that you're gonna be able to see better from, but I'm standing on jump seats. It's got a center live well where a live well should be. You taught me all about center of gravity. This is well laid out back here. I don't understand the key slot transom.
Well, what it does is the hull actually extends back past the motor, and it works very much like trim tabs. There's even a little tiny hook in the bottom of the hull on both sides. What this does, when you throttle up, there's no bow rise. She's up and she's over fast. You never lose your line of sight. But what it does, it gets the boat planed off without gouging up the flat and leaving a big wheel ditch.
Which decreases the amount of water that you need to float in.
Not only float and take off, but this boat has a tunnel and it's got a jack plate. When she's up and running, you can bring that motor up on the jack plate. This boat will run in 8 inches of water.
I see. And it'll get up in much shallower water because it has no bow rise to it. Right?
Exactly. You compare this to another 22-foot boat out there, and you need literally half of the water of a standard bay boat that would be in the same size.
Sounds like a great idea. If you want to be a shallow water sight fisherman, which there is a whole lot of people going to that kind of fishing.